Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Ace 10. This is a blind versus blind situation. Villain 2 open raises. He is a tight player, 12-8. Probably tight aggressive. 12-8. Attempt to steal is like 27%. You can see the raise first in stat. 28% from the small blind, 5 out of 18. He's 9 out of 24 from the button, 11 out of 50 from the cutoff. I think this guy is probably positionally aware. You can see it with the VPIP. I think he's really tight under the gun, mid position. He starts adding some hands, and then when you get to cutoff and the button especially, he's willing to play more hands, but he's still playing on the tighter range. He's not playing 35-40% of hands at that point. He's only playing 23, which isn't a huge number of hands. So when he raises here, I don't think he has a super large range. I think 28%. This is 29%. I think this is probably something that he would have. Now, when I change this, go up to 28%, it adds like suited kings, it adds suited hands. It doesn't really add the offsuit aces. I think in this situation, this is a 10 NL game. A lot of players, blind versus blind, will play the offsuit aces, and they probably play that over, some of the suited connectors, suited one gappers, and so forth. In order to bring the percentages down, I did have to take out the suited kings, because if I had the suited kings in here, you could see it. It added up to 31%. I don't think his stats don't seem like he's playing that high of hands. So I think our aces, ace-x hands, our Broadway hands, pocket pair, and then some of these suited connectors. Me, it's blind versus blind. We could call him a tight player. If he's playing a tight player, this is kind of the range we're looking at. We're raising queens plus ace queen, ace queen suited plus, and then ace king. So ace queen, ace king, or queen queens plus ace king and ace queen suited. That would be a better way to approach it. And then all of these calls versus a normal small blind. I think we open it up a bit more. Would I consider this player normal or not? Well, I had kind of preloaded this, and I don't think so. I think he, relative to everyone else, I think he tends to be a tighter small blind player. I think there's probably nothing wrong to play him as that kind of range. We know he's going to have a much stronger range than a lot of people, so we should be 3-betting stronger. We should be calling stronger. We shouldn't have a bunch of offsuit hands. You can see, like, we're not tossing in all of our offsuit aces here, because if we connect, we could have major KO problems down here. We have those hands up for the suited aces, but we're playing it as suited. The suitedness gives us a little bit more playability. So I think we're going to go with this. Our plan going forward is that villain 2, let's look at his range, will likely hit any board that has Broadway hand on it, or a Broadway card on it. If there's 2 Broadway cards, probably going to have to fold, depending on the run out. 2 Broadway cards, could give us top pair, could give us a second pair, could give us, gut shot possibility. So we might be able to call. We might be able to make a play at the pot if villain starts to show weakness. His c-bet stats, he c-bets the flop a lot, and then the turn he tends to check, especially, well, 76 and then 67 tend to be a little bit more turn honest, even with his tighter range. Oftentimes when we have a tight player like this, the percentages are going to be high, because it has a high likelihood that he's going to connect, or he's going to have hands that would c-bet. So if we think about hands that have let's say jacks plus, it's 24 combos, and then if you add ace king to that, that's 16. If you add 18 ace queen, that's another 16. So you've got almost half your hands are pocket pairs. Ace king tends to c-bet. Ace queen tends to c-bet as well. So when you're playing a really strong range, you're going to be likely to c-bet a lot. This isn't necessarily indicative of somebody that just bets no matter what. So and I'm looking around the table to see if we have anybody like that. Not really. So yeah, if he shows weakness, we might be able to take a stab and get him to fold. All right, so we see a flop of 10, 9, 7. 10, 9, and 7. I think that's our suits are correct. And villain bets. No big surprise. I kind of assume he's going to be c-betting here. C-betting, big part of it. Now, nice thing is that he probably didn't hit this board. So chance that he has a pair is pretty low, or even an overcard is going to be fairly low. Over pairs at 7%. He does have gut shots in there, so I think when you take a look at a pair plus and then gut shot and open enders, we're at 72%, and I think that's a minimum. That's going to be a minimum for him. I don't have the overcards. We could put him in like ace king, ace queen. He's out of position. And if he does that, maybe it would be our 2-card backdoors. So let's do this. We'll do ace king, ace queen, and maybe king queen as well. Not ace jack. We'll do those. So ace king, ace queen, ace jack, king queen, suited. If it's a diamond club or spade, we won't include the hearts. So I think he's got quite a few draws. If we change this, we add some color to it. You can see that, and I wanted this, it was 76%. It's not like 50% he's got pocket pairs and we're dealing with it. No, most of his hand is going to be on draws. So when he bets here, he bets half pot. What is our play? If we raise, what percentage of hands folds? Well, let's get this here. All right, so got a calculator out. Let's move this over here to the side. We're starting with 74.1%. If we raise, I think he's getting rid of his these hands. 2-card backdoor flush draw. I think he's getting, so he had 74.1. Let's write that down so we don't forget it. There, 74.1. I think he's getting rid of those hands. Pocket pair below the board, I think he's folding. Bottom pair, I think he's folding. Eights, he's calling because he's got an open ender. I think he's calling middle pair. I think set is raising. We'll leave that in. Gut shot. 1-card gut shots are possibly folding. King, queen may call once. And the open enders are going to be calling. So 51%. All right, so 51.7 over 74.1. So he's continuing 70%. We're getting folds 30%. What kind of value are we looking at? Would we have value bets here? Yeah, I think we could raise. We get some value. I think he's going to be calling. Definitely our top pair is going to be ahead of a lot of his range. hands that beat us would be the overpair plus. So we're looking at 19%, 20% of hands. Yeah, of the ones that he calls, about 20% will be beating us. They're going to have some draws on us. So equity-wise, I think he's probably looking at... That's... I think we could do dead cards. Ace. See if we can do that. No. Here. All right, let's do this. We got ace of spades, 10 of clubs. That's our range. Let's do this. Let's get our range here. So if I bet and he calls, what's our equity here? I don't think we're going to be huge equity here at all. I really don't. Let's run. Yeah, I'm only at 55%, so I'm not sure if a raise is going to really accomplish what we're hoping to accomplish here, which is to fold out hands that have good equity against us. I don't think we're going to be doing that. I think we're going to get a couple folds, like those suited overcards, the ace king, ace queen, king queen, with the backdoor flush draws. I think we get those folds, but we're not folding out our straights, our open-ended straights, and we're not folding out a lot of our gut shots. Yeah, some of the one-card gut shots could fold, but that doesn't change our overall equity a whole lot. So I don't see a huge bonus to raising here. I think our play might be to just call and then see what he does on the turn. If he bets the turn, then maybe that's the time to come in with a raise, try to get some value, because now we apply a little bit more pressure, and maybe we could get him to fold some of the tens. Do we want to get him to fold the tens? Not necessarily, because with the tens, I mean, we beat, and we're not too worried about getting drawn out on with the tens. However, we do have to worry about like Jack Queen, Jack King. You know, if one of those Broadway cards come, then we could easily be beat. So let's get his hands back on. We were gonna do that, and the one card gut shot. So do I see raising? I don't think we would want to raise. There's really no flush, so I don't think we're gonna be raising. I think we're calling middle pair plus. Definitely eights. Bottom pair. Yeah, I think we're going to probably be calling that. I think twos to sixes were not. I think the sixes will be part of our gut shots. We're not going to call all of our two-card backdoor flush draws either. This board does hit our range, so I think when it comes to two-card backdoor flush draws, I think we're probably going to be much stronger. Ooh, let's color code these. Some of these middle cards. Something like that. And get. Yeah, so we're not doing a whole lot of folding either. So, all right. So we did call. Two diamonds comes out. And villain bets half pot again. All right, so I think this helps to narrow down his range, because I don't think he's going to be betting half pot with a weak pair. I think he could bet it with pocket pair less than second card and the middle pairs. Middle pairs the 9. We've got the 8s for the straight. I think now flush draw might continue betting. Open ender might continue betting. Though, yeah, the 1 and the 2 card open enders. I don't think the gut shots are going to be continuing here. So he's still continuing at a fairly high frequency at 65.1%. What if we raise? If we raise now, I think it sets up a little bit better situation. Do I think he's going to be folding anything that we beat or anything that beats us? Probably not. I think the overpair pair comes over the top. I think 2 pair comes over the top sets. If we have sets ourselves and 2 pair, should we be raising now? Yeah, I think sets and 2 pairs can raise because I think with our raising range, let's color code this. I think we're raising straight sets and 2 pair. I think overpair is going to be a call. I think then we're going to be raising our flush draws. Probably not all of our flush draws. King 8. To here. Probably something like that, maybe. I'm afraid if I raise, we're gonna get yeah. Let's do that. That's our flush draw. And I think, yeah, we would have definitely open enders. Should we even care? Maybe a gut shot. The king queen. Maybe straight sets, 2 pair. Are good flush draws, and then gut shot kind of balance. Do we need to balance? Maybe. So I think if we raise here, overpair's not going to go away, 2 pairs not going to come away, sets not going to come away. I think since we have our draws, we might be able to get some of the top pair. Probably not, but we'll get the middle pair to fold. I don't know. So I don't think he's folding out a whole lot. So let's get rid of that again. Maybe we're just raising that for value, and we don't have a lot of bluffs. I think that's going to be the play. It's exploitable for us, so we won't have a whole lot of bluffs. But I think given this player, given the tightness of the player and kind of the texture of the board and the blind versus blind status, he's not. I think we've got better ways to raise for value and not have any bluffs, because if we're raising for bluffs, we're likely going to get called and we're going to need to hit. So why build up a pot on a draw as an underdog? So I think straight sets and 2 pair we raise. That's what we're going to do. So if we're going to be raising exploitatively, then I think we call with the overpair. I think we call with the top pair. Middle pair is kind of where our cutoff, I think. I think with middle pair, we've got some value there because villain could be doing this with draws. I think we're going to be calling with flush draw, open enders, gut shots, 2 card gut shots. 1 card gut shots are going to be, they're definitely speculative. I don't think we're calling 1 card gut shots. As liberally. Jack 9 has a pair, ace jack, ace jack. I think we can fold jack 7. I think even jack 9. I don't think we're doing jack 9. We've got, these are basically pairs with gut shots. We were already going to call those, but the ace jack I think are the additions here. because if we catch an ace or a jack, we might be good. Same thing. I think king queen, we could probably just fold that, and it's not going to be too hard. However, we got overs and the gut shot, so I think, you know, we have a chance if we spike one of those outs, we could beat them. So I think this is what our range is going to be like when we call. Definitely going to be heavy on the draws, so you know, we could be exploited. He could have bet larger. I think betting larger narrows our range down a little bit more. But we did call, and then two spades. That doesn't change anything. So now, you know, with two spades, if villain bets again, I think we're probably just going to be calling top pair plus at this point. And if he shows an overpair, he shows an overpair. There's really not a whole lot we can do about that. I think ace jack, 10 jack is probably questionable of whether or not we're good. I think 10 queen is kind of like our break even point. King 10, ace 10, I think those are solid calls. We already used our raise, you know, on the turn, so I don't think we're going to be raising here at all. If villain checks to us, could we bet? I think so, and I think we bet our top pair hand, ace 10, and I think we bet some of our misdraws. So what does villain do here? He does check. So when he checks, I'm going to eliminate over pairs, two pairs, I think the top pair too, maybe. Definitely ace 10, and I think definitely king 10. I think he's not. And then you've got all of those hands that are all weak. Once he checks, I think we're going to be betting straights. We should be betting. I think we should be betting, you know, these hands. 10-8. I don't want to turn these into bluffs. So I think jack 10, queen 10, I think are probably hands that we just check behind. I think king 10 and ace 10, we're betting for that for value, because I think he can call, and he can probably call with a middle pair and might even call with a weak pair. So, you know, out of the 63 hands that check, I think he's calling maybe 40%. So he's going to be folded. He's going to be folding over 50%. And that's almost like we should be betting 100% here just to capitalize on that. And then maybe that is the play. However, I think we do have some showdown hands that we can play, like including middle pair. We've got showdown. Some of the weak pair we have showdown. Even our ace high can have showdown. So our nothing hands, our bluffs here that we kind of use for balance, we're going to use hands that really can't win. So maybe that, you know, king queen, you know, 6-4, 6-5, maybe king jack, and again, exploitatively, we could probably have even more of these hands in here in our range and get him to fold. So on this hand, I think I'm fine with just calling pre-flop. I think I'm fine with calling flop and turn. I don't see reasons to raise here and kind of get villain to fold all his junk hands that I think he was going to continue with. On the river, though, I think we missed the play. I think we missed a bet here. Top pair, top kicker. I think that's where we miss some value. And I think, you know, if I bet 12, he might be calling. So that's 12 extra big blinds. And I think with queen 10, that is definitely a hand that I think we said he's probably checking that. See, I've got it in there. I think that's a hand where he check calls. Definitely we'd lose out, you know, all those other times, but 12 more big blinds. Heck, I bet if I even bet pot, if I bet, you know, 24, and I think that's probably the play, not half pot. I think the play is to go bet like 18 to 24, so 3/4 to a full pot size bet. That's, you know, almost 24 big blinds again, you know, quarter of a buy-in that I could get just by making this value bet. And I think that's where I made this mistake here. So hopefully you enjoyed this hand. This was a longer hand to get through. I thought this was kind of a bit more interesting. Kind of have to think about hands that villain has, and when to make value bets. And we are, I think, making exploitative raises on the turn. All right, hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, look tomorrow for another hand.